Okay, Kerry Niazi, coming to you on this. What does it say about the damage that this may do? And regardless of all these happenings, undertaking, I mean, in private, in public, what does it mean for the Ministry of Education? Does it place the ministry under spotlight and hamper the entire process that they have put in place with regards to sealing the loopholes of examination leakages? And generally, will it have the psychological sense of effect on the preparation for the examinations by the KCPE and the KCSE students?
I think those in the Ministry of Education, KNUT, and the Ministry and the TSC, they are a disgrace to this nation. And I'm shocked to learn that KNUT Secretary General, Honorable Sosion, has just learnt last week that Section 66 of the Education Act, or whatever agreement they had with TSC, exists now that the exams are around the corner. And every year when we enter a new year, parents and teachers prepare candidates for an exam. So you wonder why the TSC and the KNUT did not do everything within their power to ensure that come exam time, we have everything in place to ensure that our children sit the exams. I was shocked to learn that the funds for science subjects, funds were sent as late as last week, and there were some schools that were struggling to even buy equipment in readiness for the practical exams. So that is the kind of people we have in leadership positions in very critical areas like education. Now, when our children fail, now we go back to blaming the children. When there are strikes, we blame the children. But it's us, who are older than them, who should change and make sure that our actions help inspire hope and inspire discipline in the students. But when we are the epicenter of confusion and disorganization, what do we expect our students will look like? So I'm very ashamed by the way TSC and the Ministry of Education and KNUT are behaving at this juncture and at this time of the year, and would urge them to audit themselves. KNUT should postpone whatever action they need to take until next year, because they were here all this year. The whole year long. They did not find it plausible to talk about these issues in January, in February. The timing is absolutely crazy, and it makes them look like zombies at this particular time. And I would urge them to always keep the interest of the children first. The Constitution, Article 40, is very clear on the rights of these children and their right to get a quality education. And the quality education includes a conducive atmosphere for them to sit their exams. So that is all we are praying for, that they should afford our children enough space and facilitate that these children have ample opportunity to sit their exams without trouble.
Okay, Ben Kunudi, I'll come to you. So exactly how did we get here? This the chronology of how events unfolded, and perhaps the precipitation point of the standoff between the Kenya National Union of Teachers, KNUT, and the Teacher Service Commission. Of course, all this debate started about the delocalization, which involved the transfer of teachers outside their home counties, aimed at enhancing national cohesion and integration, according to the Teacher Service Commission, which said that it meant that this will embolden perhaps the cohesiveness and unity in the country. The other issue is about the career progression guidelines that involves the promotion of teachers based on performance and vacancies in the teaching profession. Also, another important aspect is the teacher performance appraisal and development within the teaching fraternity. And point number 4, of course, which still is the point of standoff between KNUT and the TSC, is the development of policies in consultation with KNUT. Now, KNUT, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, the Secretary General Wilson Sosion wants the Teacher Service Commission, TSC, to involve it in development of all policies that affect the more than 300,000 teachers across the country. Ben Kinudi, are coming to you. What do you think this will end up, or is the end game pertaining the preparation by the Ministry of Education in the country? Is there going to be the conducive environment for the conduction of the KCPE and the KCSE examinations? Of course, the KCPE is scheduled to start 30th of this month. That is in about 22 days time. And here we have Sosion calling for the strike. So how well will this, is this going to have consequence on the preparation by the ministry, 1, and then 2, the entire process of the examinations by the pupils?
Yesterday, I had a child in primary school, standard 8, say, walimu wametuzoea. Mtihani ikifika, they go on strike. Walimu wametuzoea. And I think these people lack the moral fiber as human beings. Because I do not see why I should prepare a child for 8 long years, 4 long years. And when this child is supposed to sit for the examination, I choose that as the best time for me to go on strike. These are not human beings. These are people who are very inconsiderate. Before you even go to any law, I think we have basic etiquette as human beings that should guide us to think about our own children and how they fare on in life. But moving on to the issues that they are raising there again, these issues have got nothing to do with the students. They want promotion of teachers. They want teachers not moved to counties other than those counties that they belong to. They want a system where, you know, the promotion of teachers is clear and they're involved and everything. Now, if you have a fight between TSC and KNUT about teachers, why should it affect our children? I think those people need to find another battleground where they go and box each other out completely and finish and leave our children out of their fights.
Yeah.
But I've always said I do not create a dilemma without providing solutions.
Yeah.
And I usually tell Mr. President, wherever you are, change will come with our generation. We are the generation that will bring about change. We have had this question of, are the people going to be ready for exams in good time? Is everything going to be done in good time? And I say, when you get a 60, 58, 75-year-old professor to run the Ministry of Education, you will get 60-year-old ideas. I still suffer when I see a container manned by GSU men with rifles because exams are inside and that exam is moving on soft copy in an SMS and WhatsApp around the nation. It means that that old professor thinks that protecting that exam is putting it in a container in a district headquarters somewhere and having red beret policemen with G4 rifles guarding those examinations and moving them in Land Rovers from one part of the country to the other. These are 60-year-old ideas. Your Excellency, the President, it's time to involve our generation in the marking and in the preparation for these exams.
Okay.
If, for example, I was the Minister for Education, one, there would be a printer in every classroom. At the corner of every examination, there would be just one printer. We would have, for example, maths examination would have 10 different examinations from number 1 to number 10. Then the permanent secretary in charge of education or the minister would have security codes on their phone. 1 hour before the examination on Monday morning, it's mathematics. The principal of the school will be sent the codes.
Okay.
And the minister will decide, print paper number 4, for example. So there are 10 papers. If you leaked, you'd have to cram the 10. So they would choose, maths is going to be paper number 4. Those papers would be printed half an hour before the exams in every classroom. So you don't need to move papers, you don't need GSU, you don't need all this kind of madness. They would sit the exams, and the exams would be taken away for marking.
Okay.
And when it's time for science or whatever, the principal says, yeah, they can decide, I'm going to do paper number 7.
Okay.
And it's printed and it's done. So all I'm saying is, as long as you have archaic people, you will have archaic ideas.
Okay.
Our generation right now needs a different way of setting exams, doing the exams and marking exams. Finally, on the issue of teachers and how they are not getting paid, and that's why they are going on strike. I provide a solution. We have 300,000 teachers. We have more than 10 million children in school, from primary all the way to high school. If we decided that each child is going to pay only 1,000 shillings per year for teaching, would have 1,000 shillings times 10 million students, that would be 100 billion. 100 billion a year is more than enough to pay all our teachers and pay them well. So each child just pays 1,000 per year.
Okay.
Forget about all the other things. And that money goes straightly to a kitty, which is professionally managed. We would pay our teachers in good time. We would pay them good salaries. We would even increase the number of teachers.
Okay.
But what do we have? Archaic professors.